Well, hello. Thank you very much. First of all, we have Gareth Bailey with us, CEO of DebtStream, and yeah, hi Gareth, how are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you, Antonio. Good to see you again. Looking forward to spending the next 10, 15 minutes talking about our partnership. So yeah, looking forward to it.
Fantastic. So yeah, I've got a few questions, and on that partnership, I think everybody's gonna get a clear view of basically what we are building here, and how that adds value to our clients. So just to begin with, Gareth. How would you introduce DebtStream, and what is your mission in the collections space?
Yeah, it's a good one. I suppose to keep it quite simple, without going into the full background of DebtStream, but the founders, of which there's three of us, I'm one of them, there's two of the founders. We've worked in the collections and recovery space for about 25 years. And I think through that time, we realized that the way that we engage with consumers needed to change and evolve. And I guess to sum it up, we created DebtStream fundamentally to modernize the collections experience. So our mission is really quite simple, is to replace friction with engagement. So if you think about it, traditionally, debt recoveries relied very heavily on outbound call centers, very high cost, difficult to scale, sometimes not the best experience for consumers. So what we do is we provide a fully digital self-service collections interface that allows consumers to engage on their own terms, anytime, anywhere. And what our belief is that when you give consumers control, give them clarity, and give them convenience, so convenience to make payments whenever they want, complete the activities off their own back rather than being, relying on a call, etc., you get better customer experience. And what we've seen is through better customer experience, you get better recovery performance. So that's the balance that we really look at. We want better outcomes for creditors, but we want to deliver better experience for consumers. And that really simply is kind of what we're looking to deliver.
Okay, fantastic, very interesting. And how does that work? How does that match with Sirec? What made you collaborate with Sirec in this space?
Yeah, again, well, I suppose one of the fundamentals of DebtStream is we very much are sort of partner led in terms of our strategy. So we look to engage with strategic partners. So we've got over 15 partners now. That's across different parts of the ecosystem, from CRM providers, open banking providers, payment service. So partnerships is a really strong part of our strategy. And I guess what attracted us to Sirec is really the deep market expertise, and the credibility that you've got within your market. So one of the things we're infinitely aware of is if you want to enter a market successfully, it's more than just technology. It's trust, it's relationships, regulatory understanding, all of those really important things that you guys have got. And that's what you can bring to the table. At the same time, we believe that your clients have an increasing need for modern digital engagement capability. Everyone across the globe does. Your client base, I don't think, is any different. So I think if you think about your capabilities and we look at what we believe, which is a best in class sort of digital self-service capability, for us, that makes an absolutely natural and very strong partnership.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the partnership, it accelerates our international growth. It strengthens your digital proposition for your customers. And most importantly, I think for the Spanish market and the market that you provide to, it gives a future ready solution for everything that they could possibly need within the collection space. So that's really what, why we're really excited about the partnership.
Yeah, these are very good points. In fact, you are talking about market expertise on the Sirec side and your digital experience, but how would you think this translates into real benefits for the final clients? What are the main benefits that you expect from this joint solution, this partnership?
Yeah, well, there's many, and I think one that's probably really key to bring through is this isn't simply two systems meshed together. It's a unified collections ecosystem. It's not just two things being shunted together. It provides more than that. So I think if you think about Sirec, you've got the operational intelligence, workflow management, everything your consumers, your clients rely upon. We enhance that with sophisticated digital engagement layer. We provide the sort of automation of those journeys, real-time account updates, payment flexibility, 24/7, which is really important. And what that delivers, and what we've seen it deliver, is higher engagement rates from the end consumer, faster resolution cycles, lower cost to collect, which I think is critical, and really importantly is much better consumer experience. So it enables organizations to scale without proportionally increasing headcount, which I think is critical if you think about today's economic environment.
Definitely. I mean, from our side, this links on the Sirec side, this links very well with the Sirec marketplace strategy, where our aim is also to not deliver separate solutions, but to deliver a joint solution that is part of the same process and integrated. So we give the users and the clients total control over what's happening. Obviously, we could integrate with any portal, but what we are delivering here goes beyond that, right? It's about embedding that DebtStream portal into what's happening in our clients in real time. So, in your opinion,
Exactly.
how would you differentiate the value that this provides compared to separate standalone solutions integrated together? What's the big driver for you in terms of value for clients?
Well, I think if you think about the pain points, so what we believe clients see as pain points, they have, rising operational costs, increased regulatory scrutiny, which I think you're seeing, we see in the UK, we're seeing across the global markets, and also changing consumer expectations. So I think if you think about consumer base, I think they expect, digital first interactions. It's very similar to banking, retail. Anytime a consumer wants to get a product or service, the first place they go is on their phone. They go to the internet. And I think in collections, we've got to appreciate that is no different. So if we combine our solutions, what we're able to give to your client base and new clients is they get that increased capacity without having to increase staffing, because they get the efficiencies of digital. In real terms, you get things like reduced call volumes, but increased engagement because you're getting it through a different channel. You're getting improved compliance through digital audit trails. It's binary. We know exactly what's happened. And we can offer very flexible, supportive, and what we like to think is non-intrusive ways to resolve debt situations because of the nature of the product. So I think it transforms the way you look at collections. Rather than being reactive and outbound driven, chasing that sort of, the customer to pick up the call, it's very proactive. Customers choose to engage, you get better outcomes, you get better experience. So I think flipping it, that's the kind of pain points we think that we solve together.
Yeah, you said something interesting that I completely agree, that the times of chasing the debtor are over. It's about understanding them and giving them options to solve the situation rather than being persistent, right? Being persistent probably doesn't work anymore because customers are used to different experiences. And now we've actually talked a lot about how this add value to our clients, to the organizations that collect debt.
Yeah.
If we go to the consumers, because this is a portal at the end, what's the value for the consumers? What are the opportunities here? What's this portal bringing to them?
Well, I guess it gives them access to their account, or 24/7, anytime they want, on any device they want to use. So rather than being reliant upon operational opening hours and choosing a channel or using a channel that they might necessarily want to use, they can access things in the way that they're used to in other parts of their life. So if they're taking out an insurance product or they want to buy a new sofa, they do it all online. This gives them the ability to use the channel that they want to solve, in this case, repayment of their debt. I think what you can expect to see is much higher engagement rates. So consumers have a new channel, and what we see is most often consumers will choose that channel. What you get then is a speed to payment. You also get that, I talked about it before, it's that non-intrusive way of engaging. So I think when you get, outbound calls, which is a very common, sort of tactic and strategy for collections agencies, you get that much more supportive channel, which is the consumer feels the choice is back with them, that they have the autonomy to make the choice of when they engage and what to do. And ultimately, what we see is higher engagement rates. Coupled with that is stronger recovery curves. So you get much stronger recovery for those reasons.
Okay, very interesting, Gareth. One point that I at least emphasize a lot, and I think it's a clear advantage of this partnership, is the real-time aspect, right? We were talking standalone solutions, you can probably achieve same sort of functionality, but obviously what we are building here, what we are delivering is real-time. What's your view on that? What's the actual and additional value of this real-time integration?
Yeah, and it's an important point, because I think lots of people think it's a kind of technology hygiene factor, but actually real-time data changes behavior. Because if you think about it, if you think about our platform, a consumer logs in, they see their true live balance, there's trust there, they know that's their balance, it's real time. If they make a change, they make a payment, the balance updates immediately. Again, there's trust in that interaction that they're having. If they agree a repayment plan, that's reflected instantly in the CRM. So if the consumer then decided to make a phone call and spoke to one of the agents in that company, they would see those changes instantly. So there's trust in the engagement that they've just had. Yeah. But real time, I think, it removes friction. And because of those things I've just talked about, it reduces disputes. And the trust element, I think, is really important. So I think from an operational perspective, you think about it, you've got two systems that are working seamlessly together. Whether it's our platform or whether it's an agent accessing your system, the data is accurate. So that does things like it improves the quality of your strategy decisions, segmentations, campaign performance, because everything is synced up real time. The other thing, we see a lot of engagement outside of core business hours. So, evenings and weekends. So I think it's really important that everything remains up to date all of the time. It can't just be, sometimes there can't be, 5-hour delay. It needs to be absolutely instant. But what that does is it expands your recovery window for 24/7. Rather than being 8 hours a day, we can speak to customers. It expands that recovery window. So I think real time is critical. Absolutely critical.
Makes a lot of sense, and all this sounds exciting, but the world changes very fast, as I'm sure you know. How do you see the digital self-service space evolving in the future, and what are the main trends you're seeing in your experience?
Yeah, I think it's about consumer behavior, and some of the points I mentioned before, but trends are accelerating quickly, particularly across financial services, because I think consumers expect to engage in a way they engage with any other product and service. So they expect mobile first. They expect to be able to do stuff on their mobile, whatever they want. People want instant flexibility. They want to know what their options are. They want to know what they are now, and they want to be able to enact on them straight away. They don't want to wait, a day for a decision or to get a letter or an email. They want instant. Flexibility as well. They want to understand what's the flexibility. What are my different options? Is it I pay today? I make a promise to pay. Is there an opportunity to set up a repayment plan if I have certain circumstances that mean that's appropriate for me? And ultimately, they want control. They want to feel like they've got the control, which if you think about when you interact with apps or other online services, you feel you have control. You log in, you see everything. You haven't got someone speaking to you, trying to guide you through a call. It's your control. And I think that's really important. I think over the next few years, what you'll see is, and we see it now, 90% of consumers access products and services online, and predominantly that 90% is on their mobile phone. So any any part of customer interaction, whether it's debt collection or, as I referenced before, you're buying a sofa from a shop, you have to be able to service and provide customers with those channels to interact. I think what we'll see is greater automation, things like payment journeys. AI will be, and already is, a big part of what we do, and it will grow. It'll continue to grow across, whether it's strategy decisions, whether it's about changing the way that we interact real time during, a live engagement. There'll be more omni-channel engagement, so much more seamless connection between a customer starts in this channel, they decide to jump to that channel. Making that seamless experience will continue to be a strong part of what we see going forward. And I honestly think we will see a reduced reliance on outbound calling, because that will no longer be the consumer's choice. And as we said before, it's very expensive and it's very difficult to scale. But I think agencies and businesses that adopt a digital first approach will gain a structural cost advantage, and it will give them a competitive edge, especially in the recovery environment. That will be critically important. So I think our partnership puts us at the forefront of that evolution. It's really exciting.
I agree. I was going to say that actually everything you're saying makes sense, and it matches very well with what the strengths of this partnership we were talking about before. So all sounds exciting, Gareth. Just to wrap it up, what do you say to someone listening and be interested? Say what was the next step? How do you get a better, clear value of view? Of what this partnership brings and the value that it provides.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. And to sum it up, I suppose it's a few points. The collection industry is evolving. I don't think digital transformation is an option anymore. I don't think it's a nice to have. I think it's a must have. I think together with our proven platforms, we have a scalable solution that combines the excellence of both of our parties, combining it into a kind of modern digital engagement platform. But the reality is, these are all words. It's easy for us to say. I think really the technology and what it brings, it can only be seen when you see it in action. So I'd encourage any organizations, anyone watching this, that's serious about modernizing their collections operation, reducing costs, improving recovery performance, to book a demonstration, explore what's possible, see what our joint proposition looks like, see what we offer, and go from there, because seeing is believing. And I think that would be my recommendation is, book a demonstration and let's have a look. Let's go through it.
Yeah, definitely. This is something that you got to see it to really understand the value that it brings. It's difficult to, we've tried these 50 minutes to explain, and I think we've done a good job, but anyways, it's better to see it and get the real thing. Well, I think that's it. Really excited on our side, on the Sirec side, Gareth. We're really excited. We've discussed this before about this partnership. I think it really brings, in the Spanish market, but also beyond, really brings something different and something we can add a lot of value to the industry. Thank you very much for your time for this conversation. I think it's been very, very interesting as well. And as you said, let's keep engaged and let's keep demonstrating to the industry what we are building together and how we can add value to their businesses.
Absolutely. No, thank you, Antonio. Excited to see where this goes. So no, thanks for the time.
Thank you very much.